This is Scott at Beyond the Muscle. Today's video is going to be about carpal tunnel syndrome, the pain we get in the wrist and the hand, as well as about thoracic outlet syndrome. So I'm going to start with TOS, thoracic outlet syndrome. There's several areas in the neck, shoulder, chest that can compress the nerve that goes out to the hand. So this thoracic region has an outlet through our armpit that nerves, arteries, and even veins go through. And structurally, if some of the bones have gotten too tight and some of the muscles and soft tissue have gotten too restricted, it can put a tremendous amount of pressure on the nerves and even the artery out to the hands. So we're going to start with some basics, and we're going to use some tools later on in the video. I'm just going to show you now. I'm going to use a belt. I could easily use a rope, a strap, or even a towel. I've also rolled up a towel inside a sheet. So this is something we're going to use to help stretch our spine later. And for the comparison, you might already have a foam roller, but if you don't, this will work fine. And even with the foam roller, if your back is particularly tight, you may wind up getting more benefit out of a rolled up towel on sheet. So essentially, what do we do to fix this pain problem? We have to address the tightness that's happening in the scalenes at the side of the neck, in the pec minor that runs from the ribs up to the very front of the shoulder blade, as well as some of the deeper tension in the rotator cuff, forearm, and possibly even the wrist. So let's start with a basic premise here. If we're going to sit on a deep, comfortable couch, what tends to happen is our shoulders are rolled forward and our spine is in flexion. Our head comes forward. So if I'm standing in this position, it's not a very attractive position. It's not very posturally sound. It's not very strong. The opposite of that is opened, lifted, lots of space right here. But the modern couch likes to support us in a way that we just sink in. And if we're sitting for a length of time, it's really going to jam up this issue and create a lot of pain problems down into the hand, which can happen during sleep or later in the day. So first and foremost, what are we doing with our rib cage? Even standing, I can let my ribs close in, collapse, and I'm losing some of the space that's naturally under my collarbone. So we have two ways to adjust this. There's the simple way, which is if I extend or arch my back, my clavicle lifts, my ribs lift, there's a little bit more space. Now, the drawback is I don't want to stand all day like this, like a gymnast ending a floor routine. But it does work. If this is flexion, I can go into extension. The higher level engagement, the more subtle postural control that can still make this space, is taking my ribs from this direction, if this is the posture of closing, to the posture of opening. And so what's really happening is I'm using my whole shoulder complex to pull my ribs open. So I'm tightening and squeezing shoulders, armpit, and the ribs can all of a sudden lift and open. I can breathe in and make space. And a lot of people out there haven't necessarily had much space in here for a long time. So even just pulling the arms back with some tension, proud chest, breathing up into the neck and upper chest can help a lot.